So hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Amesie's Corner. How are you all doing out there? So when I was very young, I'm going to say 8 or 9 years old, my father gave me my first dirt bike and a set of tools. He got it running and he said the rest is up to you. And I rode that bike for a good long time, and one thing I hated was every time I had to work on it, it was always on the dirt. It was in a dirt yard, whether I was changing an inner tube or whatever. And I said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. So I went to the local motorcycle shop to get an inner tube, and I saw them working on a couple of bikes, and they had a motorcycle lift. And I looked at that and said, I have to have one of those. From like 8 years old, I knew it was something I had to have. And I've paid off all my tool bills. I'm kind of just buying toys and stuff now. You guys remember I picked up a pair of Snap-on X-Maxes off my Snap-on guy just because I can't think of any actual hand tools or anything I want from them that I don't already have in the box. So I paid my Mac tool guy off too. He was all paid up. And I'm looking for something to buy. I'm just looking to spend some money on some invest in a new toolbox maybe. So I'm looking at what he's got. He's trying to get me to buy a new box. He's like, we got red, white, and blue from coming out. And I'm like, nah, I'd rather a used box, but he didn't have anything good. I like to buy used boxes because you trade a used box in. He'll give me whatever I paid for this one in trade-in for a new one. So say I paid $6,000 or $4,000 for this one. He's got a $5,000 toolbox that's better than this. Well, but he just had nothing coming in that piqued my interest. And I'm looking through one of the flyers, not necessarily this one here. I'm like, what can I get? What can I get? And I turned, and there this was. I see this right there. Now, I didn't have a lot to go on. Just this picture. I actually couldn't find a single review online for this lift. Now, I hear you saying, where are you going to put this lift? You work at a garage, you have nowhere to put something that big. Well, I'm looking at it, and it doesn't look very long. They call it a drop tail 1,000-pound lift. And I'm looking at this area. We got Will, the new tech, came in here, and I lost my bench. We used to have a bench very similar in setup as over there, where you got one bench, and then this bench goes that way. Each bay has a bench. There's my bench. And I had it going across here, and I loved having a bench there. And then when Willie got set up, that bench went way back with his vise on it in the corner over there. And that left me with just this big monolith blue whatever right there. I did tag it. You got to tag everything in my bag. But I'm like, man, I got to find a bench. Well, then I see that, and I'm like, well, I know how big that Harley is. That bagger is, a little longer than the area, but then you look at the drop tail when this thing's configured a certain way. Yeah, hey, why not order it? If it fits, it fits. If not, well, I'll figure something else to do with it. And it took a long time to come in, and let me present to you my Mac Tools 1,000-pound portable motorcycle lift. Now, like I said, I couldn't find a review. I just have the picture here. It says it comes with a service jack, wheel service jack, which is over on the bench right there. I definitely see me using that. And then it says it comes with 12-inch removable side extensions and mounting kit. Now, I wasn't sure exactly what they were talking about that. Maybe it's the side things that pull in, and you got side foot steps or something you could stand on. I didn't know if it was 12-inch by 12 feet or 12-inch by a foot. I didn't know if there's something just to go on the side so you could step off the bike or not. And then it got delivered, and I'm like, it can't be that heavy. We got a forklift. I'm like, can't we just lift it off to the delivery guy? And he's like, he looks at the paper and he goes, well, it's 708 pounds. And I was like, what? 708 pounds? This thing's supposed to be portable. Well, what I didn't know is, and what that all encounters or entails is, it comes with the XLT kit, which is full-length side extensions and ramps. So you have the ramps are still removable, and that's how it is. And those actually, I'm going to store those up there just because I have, you can kind of see them poking up right there. I got a tiny little bit of storage area I can use up in the mezzanine, but that there is the XLT kit that I someday may use when I have my own shop or something, or have my own garage. Just will come home with me. But yeah, here it is. It is nice. It's actually a Mac Tools branded, but the company who makes it, Forward Lifts, is the same company that makes the lift I use every day. So I trust pretty much anything that comes from this company, because my whole career as a tech has been done on a Forward Lift. Not necessarily this lift, but different lifts at the dealers, but they've always been Forward Lifts. I've used this lift here almost every workday for the last, coming up on 8 years, I think now. Every day. Other than having a cable issue, I had to replace the cables once. We've had no trouble with it. So I didn't expect to have any problem with this, and this is the first time I've actually set it up. It arrived last week sometime, and I had it in the bench over there. I got to put it away when I'm done for today. Now, one thing I did do, and I did just modify this today, is it has this, the motorcycle front wheel clamp. This will hold the bike in and kind of holds it steady and holds it so you can get the straps on. You're not supposed to just use the rim clamp to hold the bike when you're working on it. The bike can fall through that. But one thing I did is this has to be 99% of the time, this lift is just going to be a table. It's just going to be a table for me to work on, an extra workspace. And then when I'm going to be doing a work on either my bike or one of my machines, or I'll probably start doing some minor motorcycle work daily, as daily work, which would be nice because I do know a lot about bikes. And yeah, one thing I did is this has to be removable. So I took and welded the hardware on this side, because I wouldn't be able to get these bolts out. I welded those bolts to the actual clamp, and then underneath I welded the nuts. All of these nuts are all welded in, so all I got to do is just zip the bolts out and take the clamp off. What is it, 6, 7, 10 or 8 bolts and 2 nuts. This one I did the nuts, so the nuts come off under there. Yeah, so I can remove this stuff in a minute. Literally, it takes probably 45 seconds to zip it off or put it on. So this is all nice and easily removable, so it can be a bench when I'm doing normal day-to-day stuff. But anyways, yeah, I figured I didn't know what else to buy. I didn't know how else to keep my Snap or Mac payment going. And yeah, got the wonderful Goldwing. And those of you who didn't see this or haven't seen this yet, this is a bike we picked up, or I picked up a year ago for $500. It was a gamble. It was a gamble I took, and it paid out big times. Paid out big times. So anyways, why don't we set this thing up and get this bike on the lift? Because actually, why don't we do this first? Let's run it through a cycle. It's pneumatic. Has a nice little pedal down there. We got a lock. That's the safety latch. And then, and it works by this pneumatic cylinder here. Uses this roller as a pinch, and it kind of rides along here and pinches that up or down. Super smooth, runs on air, which means I can technically you can hook a bicycle pump up to this if I had to get it up and down. And there it is in the down position. Now with the shop air, we get kind of high pressure. It's pretty fast. And there it is. How cool is that? Well, all right, guys, let's get this. If it's going to pick up anything, it's going to pick up a Goldwing. So I know we're not 1,000 pounds, but we're pretty close to it. So awesome. Let's get this thing on the lift. Oh, that's so sweet. So sweet. So one thing I want to say, I don't have straps on it. We have, it came with these eyelets, which screw into there, and then you run your straps up to the handlebars or the clamp up there, the triple tree or what have you, or if you got any kind of spots you want to mount the strap to. I'm not actually working on the bike today. This is just to put it up, so I think we're all right for now. If you're going to start wrenching on it, you need to have it strapped down. I don't know if anybody remembers, what was that show, American Chopper. They had one of the bikes, I think it was back in the beginning, they had the Cody bike up on a lift, and they're doing something, and the bike, no one's near the bike, it just falls on the ground and causes some damage. And then, yeah, I remember that episode of that just for that, so I don't ever want to drop any bike off of my lift. So keep that in mind, you guys. If you're going to use a motorcycle lift, make sure you got it strapped. But for this, for showing it, for show and tell, this clamp is going to hold it just fine. Also, when you're using these clamps, make sure it's not going to mar the wheel or hit the rotor or something, but we're all right here. And yeah, this makes it so much easier to clean, so much easier to service, to work on, diagnose, what have you. Yeah, so I am so stoked that I finally have a lift. And I toyed with buying a Harbor Freight couple $100, $300-400 one. And you know what? I have too many name brand tools to put my nice Goldwing or somebody else's bike on a crappy lift. This being made by Forward Lift, I'm sure I can get whatever part really quickly from them. Not that I anticipate any problems. It's a real simple piece of equipment. Not like anything's really going to go wrong that I can't, you know, fabricate. The back here all breaks down. The ramp will come off. This pins out. This is called the drop tail, and this slides right out. I'd show you, but I've only got one hand to do it, and it's kind of a two-hand job. Two-hand job. So anyways, you get the idea of what it would look like and how easy having that drop tail and that jack on there lets you real easy to get a rear wheel off, because that can be a real problem. Sometimes wheels have to come down and out to come off. You can't just slide them off or, you know, unbolt it like a car. It's kind of an involved process, especially on this bike. Luckily, I don't need any rubber anytime soon. These tires are going great. But there is one thing going on. The brakes, although they have a lot of life left in the pads, they squeal, so I will be servicing those really soon. We're actually going to dig into this bike in the next few weeks really, really deep. This being a Goldwing, a lot of people don't know these have timing belts, and one of the pulleys is making a little chatter, a little squeak noise now and again. And I've already been in there once and found some carnage and some what the heck moments, but that's a topic for another video. Today, it's all about the lift. All about that lift. And it's got a big pneumatic cylinder, and that thing's huge. And just really well built. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little review of the of Mac Tools drop tail 1,000-pound lift. Like I said, I couldn't find a single mention of it anywhere to know what I was getting. So anybody's looking at one of these, this is pretty much what you're going to get. The other thing I haven't shown yet is it comes with a dolly. This is a dolly. It's got wheels on the back up there, and then this kind of hooks into a pin under the ramp. You take the ramp off here, and there's a pin that locks into there. And it's actually, now that it's set up, it's really easy to move around. At first, I saw that 708 pounds. I'm like, man, this thing's going to sit in the corner. I'm never going to be able to put a bike on it. Just 'cause it's going to take 4 guys to get it set up. But nope, I just set this up all myself, and yeah, away she goes, boys, away she goes. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little review of the lift, and look forward to a lot more videos on this bike. We're going to tear into that in the near future. Well, anyways, guys, on that note, and until next time, keep it out of the cabbage. Took 40 years. I finally got one.